The night was heavy with silence, broken only by the distant howl of a dog in the valley. The stars above the small village seemed to flicker like restless souls, watching over lives full of untold stories. In one of the adobe houses standing at the edge of the community, a storm much stronger than the one outside brewed within. Apache, a man known for his pride and his fierce protection of his family, stood with trembling hands, staring into the eyes of the woman he once loved more than anything. Her name was Elena. His wife. His heart. Or so he thought. Rumors had been circling for weeks, whispers carried from neighbor to neighbor, that Elena had betrayed him. That she had done the one thing he could never forgive, broken her vows of loyalty. Apache, who had survived poverty, hardship, and the cruel weight of leadership in the village, could not survive betrayal in his own home. His eyes burned with hurt and rage as he pointed to the door. "Get out," he ordered, his voice rough with the pain of a man whose trust had been shattered. Elena, tears streaming down her face, tried to speak, tried to explain, but her voice cracked under the weight of his anger. "Please, let me tell you the truth," she began. But Apache cut her off. "There is no truth that can wash away betrayal. Leave now, and never return." That night, Elena walked away from the only home she had ever known, her footsteps echoing on the dirt road like a funeral drum. She carried nothing but a small bundle of clothes and the ache of a heart torn apart. She looked back once, hoping for some sign, some flicker of hesitation in Apache's face, but he had already shut the door. To him, she was gone. To him, she no longer existed. The years that followed were cruel to Elena. She wandered from place to place, working where she could, cleaning, cooking, and even sleeping on the streets when no shelter was offered. Yet, despite the struggles, she never let bitterness consume her. She gave food to beggars even when she herself was hungry. She sang to children in the markets when their parents had no coins to buy them toys. Her kindness became her shield, her way of surviving a world that had turned its back on her. But in the silence of her nights, her heart bled for the man she loved, for the life she had lost, and for the truth that she had never been allowed to tell. 6 years passed. Apache's life had not been easy either. Though he tried to bury his pain beneath work and duty, the emptiness of his home gnawed at him. The house was quieter, colder, the air heavy with regret he refused to name. The villagers still respected him, but they noticed the shadow in his eyes, the hardness that never softened. He told himself he had done the right thing. Betrayal was not to be forgiven. And yet, sometimes, when the nights grew long, he found himself staring at the door, half expecting Elena to walk in and laugh as though nothing had ever gone wrong. But she never came. Until one evening, 6 years to the day since he had cast her out, there was a knock at Apache's door. It was timid, hesitant, almost fearful. He opened it slowly, and there she was, Elena. Older now, her face lined with the weariness of her wandering, but her eyes still carried the same light he once fell in love with. For a moment, Apache could not breathe. Anger surged in him again, anger born of memory, but something else, too, something softer that he tried desperately to crush. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, his voice sharp though his hands trembled. "I came because you never let me speak," Elena replied, her voice steady despite the tears pooling in her eyes. 6 years ago, you threw me out without hearing the truth. And I accepted it. I left because you asked me to. But I cannot carry this secret anymore. I need you to know." Apache clenched his fists. "There is nothing you can say that will change what you did." Her lips trembled. "What I was accused of, it never happened. I never betrayed you. The man they said I loved, he was my brother. A brother you never knew I had." The words struck Apache like a thunderbolt. He staggered back, confusion flooding his face. "Brother?" "Yes," she whispered, pulling out from her bag a worn piece of cloth, embroidered with symbols Apache recognized, symbols from a family he knew only by name. "When I was a child, my family was torn apart. My brother was taken away. I thought I'd lost him forever. 6 years ago, he found me. He came to our village, desperate and starving. I couldn't tell you the truth because he was hiding from dangerous men who wanted his life. I swore to him I would protect his secret. When the villagers saw us together, they assumed the worst. I begged you to listen, but you had already judged me. I chose his safety over my own name." Her voice cracked, but she went on. "And I would do it again, Apache, because he was my blood, my family. I never betrayed you. I only kept a promise to my brother, one I thought you would understand if only you had listened." Silence filled the room, thick and suffocating. Apache's knees buckled beneath the weight of her words. His pride, the very thing that had driven her away, now crumbled into dust. He remembered the pain in her eyes the night she left, the way she had begged for a chance to speak, and how he had silenced her. For 6 long years, he had carried anger when he should have carried her hand. "Elena," he whispered, his voice breaking. "What have I done?" Her tears flowed freely now. "You did what you thought was right. I do not blame you. But I came back because I needed you to know the truth before it's too late." Apache's heart twisted. "Too late? What do you mean?" She lowered her gaze, her hands trembling as she revealed the final truth. "I am sick, Apache. The years on the streets, the hunger, the cold, they have taken their toll. I do not know how much longer I have. But I could not leave this world without you knowing that I never betrayed you." At that moment, something inside Apache shattered completely. All the walls he had built around his heart collapsed, leaving only love and regret. He reached for her hands, rough and calloused from years of hardship, and pressed them to his lips. "Forgive me," he pleaded, his voice broken. "Forgive me for not listening, for not protecting you when you needed me most. Forgive me for letting pride blind me to the truth." Elena smiled through her tears, a smile so gentle it cut him deeper than any anger ever could. "I forgave you the moment I left, Apache. I never hated you. I only prayed that one day you would see me again. Not as the woman you thought betrayed you, but as the woman who always loved you." The days that followed were filled with healing. Apache cared for Elena with a devotion that astonished even himself. He cooked for her, wrapped her in blankets when the nights grew cold, and sat by her side telling stories of the years they had lost. The villagers, upon learning the truth, came to her with apologies and gifts, their shame heavy upon them. But Elena bore no grudges. She accepted their kindness with grace, teaching them through her forgiveness that love was stronger than judgment. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in gold and crimson, Elena rested her head against Apache's shoulder. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Do you know why I came back, even though I am so weak?" "Why?" he asked, holding her close. "Because I wanted you to learn what I had learned in my years away, that love is not about pride or proof. It is about trust, compassion, and the courage to listen even when the truth is hard to believe. I came back because I still love you. And because I wanted you to love without fear again." Tears streamed down Apache's face as he kissed her forehead. "You have given me more than I deserve, Elena. You have given me a second chance." And though her body grew frail, her spirit burned brighter than ever. She became a symbol in the village, a reminder that compassion can rewrite the darkest chapters, that forgiveness can heal wounds pride only deepens, and that love, true love, never really dies. When Elena's final day came, it was not marked by sorrow alone. It was marked by gratitude, by the peace of two souls who had found their way back to each other against all odds. Apache wept, but he also smiled, because she had left him with a gift greater than life itself, the power to love with humility, to forgive with grace, and to live with compassion. Years later, when people spoke of Apache, they no longer described him as the proud, unyielding man he once was. They spoke of the man who learned too late but still learned, the man who turned his pain into kindness for others, the man who opened his door to the lost and the broken, never again shutting it in anger. And in every act of kindness, in every gesture of compassion he gave, Elena's spirit lived on, proving that even the deepest wounds can heal when touched by love. Because sometimes, the truth does not just change a story, it changes a soul.